bro, at normal pressure, it'll boil at 212, 100 centigrade. Put it in the vacuum, it'll start boiling at 2 degrees, 3 degrees, depending on
Room temperature,
the intensity
yeah.
of the vacuum. We do it with sugar. Sugar is dissolved in water at the manufacturing plant. They put it in these huge steel vacuum chambers so they can cook off the water without cooking the crystals. By reducing the temperature the water boils at, it doesn't damage the food.
The sugar, yeah, okay.
Just like with orange
For
juice.
sure. That's
They reduce the
distillation
concentrate
too, right?
by putting all the juice in a big vat, sucking the air out, getting a good vacuum going, and just heating it a little bit. Sometimes they don't even have to heat some of this stuff. Just the fact it's under a vacuum and reducing its surface tension and boiling point,
or even
boils
heating
off by
something, right,
itself.
Jimbo? You know, even
Pardon me?
heating something called distillation, distill to make it not still anymore. Like Brian's saying, entropy is going to take effect if you add heat or pressure or whatever it is.
Things
You're
will
going to distill
out.
it. It's not going to be
Yeah.
still anymore. It's not going to be equilibrium anymore.
Distilled, yeah.
But you're gonna get
And gravity doesn't overcome entropy. Gravity is part of entropy.
Yeah, it's cycles. Really is cycles.
Because you're not going to go outside and see things fall. Dude, anytime anybody ever uses shit like things fall and measuring it, okay? Things don't just fall, okay?
You drop
They got to
them.
be the only thing, you've got to put energy into the shit to get it up to where it's at. So if you take something heavy, the heavier it is, the more energy you have to put into it to get it to a certain height. Okay,
Brian, not necessarily true though. Trees can grow fruit like right on the tree.
If you want to talk about a rock falling off a cliff or something like that, but it took energy. It took energy for that cliff to that rock.
Here's an easy way to look at it. It's called foot-pounds. If you raise a 1 pound weight 1 foot off the ground, you have 1 foot-pound of potential. Raise that same pound 100 feet in the air, you have 100 foot-pounds of potential. That 1 pound, 100 feet up, held over midair, has a potential of a 100-pound bag of potatoes on the ground. The same amount of potential. Stress.
But that only covers part of it.
Well, and also, Brian, the rockfall thing.
Some things start already up.
That potential energy was created way before we were ever around.
Please,
right?
please name what starts up already. Whoever said that.
Fruit from a tree. It grows on the tree and starts in the up position. It was never down to begin with.
Yeah, it grows there. It's supposed to be there, and it doesn't fall because it was there out of magic and mystery, suspended and waiting for gravity.
No, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is nobody had to lift it to get it up there. So what he's describing only covers part of it.
Yes, they did, bro. The plant had to grow upwards, and if it's not strong,
but it didn't lift anything. That's the thing.
If the stalk is not strong enough, it will not grow upward, bro. It takes
lift the fruit up.
The water
grows from the
tree to get that fruit up in the air, bro. What are you even talking about?
He's trolling is what he's doing. He trolls every show, the guy. What can you do?
It takes energy to get the fruit up in the air.
You think that I troll every show?
100%. You think I'm a fool? I know what you're doing.
Hey, Bob. So I planted a tree, but I put the
seed
is
this a common thing? Do you guys think that I'm trolling the show?
I don't, not necessarily, man. But I want you to comment. I want you to explain. Do you think that?
Okay, Jimbo seems to be under the impression that I troll every single show, and if you guys think that,
this right after the show went on the air, you kept the guy from going to bed, asked question after question, and you're still controlling the show right now.
Come on,
what do you think?
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, Jimbo, but I've never stopped someone from going to bed.
It's okay, Bob.
This will decide whether you're a troll or not, right here. Okay. This will decide. Hold on, Aaron.
Easy. Just be easy.
This will decide whether he's a troll or not, right here.
Guys, one at a time.
Did it take energy to get that fruit up in the air?
I planted the seed upside down. I planted my seed
Did it take energy? Did it take energy to get that? Did it take energy to get that fruit up in the air? That's my only question.
Define what you mean by energy. It took resources. I mean, the tree had to use resources to grow, but
Not
I
just
wouldn't define it
resources,
as
but the same
energy.
thing as you, Bob. The same
All
thing.
It's not like the tree is a laser.
Yeah, it took energy to get that apple up in there. The water was sucked up.
What do you mean by energy then? Because as far as I know, there's no energy in a tree. There's nutrients, there's resources.
The nutrients and water were sucked up the tree to the apple so the apple could grow.
Bob, that's not energy. That's nutrients and resources. We don't call water energy.
Bob, do you think the Earth is living?
It took energy to get the water up
there.
Do
you think the Earth is living, flat or globe? Do you think it's living, flat or globe? The Earth itself.
The water got up the.
Is it living? Is it a living?
Listen, I don't have an explanation.
It's avoiding the question of whether the tree
why
put
the water goes
energy
up
into
the
the
tree.
apple to make it fall. Let's get back to the
fact
question.
that the tree grows up is not automatically energy. It sounds like you're using energy as a replacement for something else.
Bob, did it take energy to get the water up the tree to the apple up in the air?
No, not that I know of. What energy would it use to get up there? The tree just uses does it how should I put this?
I think you're wrong on this.
I maybe I'm misunderstanding what you mean by energy. How is there energy because the tree uses water and nutrients? Like where's the energy in that?
Let's define what you think energy is, Bob. Right, real quick before we all go on, Bob. What do you think energy is when we say energy? What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of like a power source, like electricity or
electricity.
No.
Yeah, something like that.
It took electricity to get that fruit up in the air.
Okay, where? Please, then that doesn't sound right to me. I don't understand that a tree uses electricity to move anything.
Without electricity, the tree is not going to grow. Okay, without electricity, it's not going to grow.
Isn't wood specifically like anti-current?
Look, there's a tree called the walking mango. It can walk 1 meter a year. It pulls up the roots and back and lays down new ones in front.
Look,
a tree is a living thing. Say there's no energy in a tree. It's organizing leaves. It's organizing root systems, bark, and growing fruit.
But you saying that it does the thing and then automatically saying that energy is not that's not proof of anything.
Let me see if I can go here.
Trees are alive.
The tree always grows in the ground, and our atmosphere, the air we live in, is the sunshine, the positive, right? So you have negative and positive. Does that make more sense?
Say that again.
So the tree grows, the roots grow in the ground. We call it the ground,
Right.
And our atmosphere, the place we live in, is full of energy when the sun comes out, right?
That makes sense.
Okay, so that would be the positive. So we have ground, which is a minus, and we have positive, which is a plus. And
okay, so the tree, whatever you think the energy is that the tree uses to grow, that's fine. Okay, I guess I don't know that a tree uses energy, but if you want to say it uses energy to grow, that's fine. But that still doesn't.
What are you talking about? You don't know if the tree used energy, dude. You don't think it's a living thing?
A tree.
Okay. All right. Well, here.
Let me make a comment.
Photosynthesis, Bob. Water, sun.
Dude, he can bring us
minerals.
He can try and trick us down to photosynthesis and get us the
fucking
but stupid fucking questions.
I'm lost here. What are you guys arguing?
He thinks it doesn't take energy to grow fruit up into the air.
That's ridiculous. Take the sun out of the equation, Bob. What happens?
Let me go this way. Let me
listen,
go this
but
way.
guys,
So Bob,
think about what you're saying. You're saying it's energy, but you're showing nothing that it's energy.
When you burn a tree, does it release energy? If we burn the wood, when we burn the tree, does it release an energy?
Hold on, Aaron. My whole point was, this is what started it all, SE. My point is you're not going to get nothing in the air you're not going to bring something out of disequilibrium without using energy.
He's right about that. Whatever term energy
he's trying to argue that.
It won't get up there on its own, Bob. That's the bottom line.
And you're not going to cool nothing down without using energy. You're not going to pressurize something without using energy. You're not going to get something in the air without using energy. All it is entropy.
Is there any energy
I hate to say this, but I
after
agree with
something
Brian.
stops falling?
The greatest thing about a tree is we can eat the fruit and then burn it for heat
Hey,
later.
is there any energy left after something stops falling?
Y'all are confusing the tree using energy to grow with the thing called work.
Is anyone going to answer the question?
What's the question?
When something stops falling, is there any energy left?
And when it stops falling,
Well, it
it
depends
either
where it
reaches
started
solid
with.
obstruction, it either reaches equilibrium or solid state obstruction.
If
One
a
of
rock
those.
is on the floor, Bob,
Just let me
it's in
just clarify your
equilibrium.
point. What you're saying
has
is
no
when
energy.
it stops falling, it's either at equilibrium or it's still pushing down, but something else is stopping it from going down.
Or it's grounded.
Exactly.
Or it's grounded. So for example, I take an orange. I take an orange.
Guys, one at a time,
two nails
guys.
in it, right? I take an orange. I put 2 nails in it with a coil of wire. I can get energy just from an orange, right? Now, when that orange falls to the ground, it's grounded. What does it do? It decays. It creates more energy. Creates more oranges for me. Do you guys all seen that experiment?
If I drop a quarter onto a chair, okay, you're telling me that when it hits the chair and stops, it's still pushing down on the chair, and the chair's just stopping it from going down. Is that what you're saying?
It still has fucking listen. Listen. Let me have this. Let me have a back and forth with Bob for 1 second, y'all. It still has potential. It still has potential. Okay. If you bring it out of equilibrium again, okay, you're not going to bring it out of equilibrium without some kind of force, without some kind of energy. You call it whatever you want, bro. I'm not trying to back the argument
up. Everything
has potential.
Everything in the whole world that we have ever witnessed with our human eyes has potential energy. Then
yes, everything, every matter.
Brian, let him get his Brian. Let him get his rebuttal.
So I don't understand how are you making the connection that like let's say like a snowflake, okay, it falls from the sky and it hits a mountain and it stops. All right, it just sits there on the mountain. Saying it has potential energy sounds like it means nothing because literally everything then has potential energy and it's worthless to ever discuss it because why are we even bringing it up then? Everything has potential energy. Everything in the future could do something. Like, what does that even mean?
It's all matter has potential energy. Same thing with air. If you compress the air, you compress the air to give it kinetic energy. Okay, as air, it's just sitting there doing whatever, just equalizing. Everything equalizes. How could you argue that everything
exists? Also,
everything came from the ground. Everything that we know about us came from the ground. Like that quarter you threw on the chair came from the ground. Okay.
Right. We know in that particular case, it did. And what I'm trying to say is,
everything.
When the
not
tree
just
grows,
that case.
whatever
Tell
you're
me
calling
something
energy,
didn't come from the ground.
It can use energy to grow. That's fine. If you're calling the sunlight hitting it and it absorbing the sunlight and using it to grow, if you're calling that energy, that's fine. That's your word. It's not my word. That's fine. Yeah. And the tree grows up, right? When the tree is done growing up, it's not still using energy to grow up. It's just sitting there. And then it uses whatever it uses to grow a fruit. And the fruit is just sitting there. The fruit never had to be lifted from the ground. It started out up.
Everything
Hold on, your life, Bob.
Okay, give him that. Okay, it started there. Okay, then what?
Let me answer.
The bigger and the higher that it grows, the more potential you've given it. What's there not to understand, dude?
Can I give a
I haven't given it any potential. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Bob.
It never was lifted. It started up.
When you reach the end of your life, where do you end up? Where do you end?
Guys, hold on, Bob. The fruit, all the stuff that
tomatoes.
The fruit.
Tomatoes. You ever go tomatoes?
Listen, the more it grows, the more potential it has. The higher it grows, the more potential it has. Okay, and it's gonna sit there with its potential until it breaks down or something acts on it. Period.
Potential is not present.
Hold on 1 second.
Do we agree on that?
Can you guys hear me?
Bob, could the apple have gotten up there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Let me just respond to this apple being up in the tree and how it started there.
Okay.
It didn't start there. All the water was down at the ground. And the water got sucked up into the tree, through the roots, through the trunk.
Okay.
And then went to the fruit. And that's how this fruit got bigger. Everything that the fruit is made of came from the ground. It didn't start in the air.
Okay, that's how the fruit got formed.
System.
I agree with that.
System. Do you guys ever grow tomatoes?
The fruit didn't need to be lifted. It started growing already being up there. How heavy it gets doesn't change the fact that it was never lifted up. It started growing from there.
Okay, it started there.
Hold on a second. everything the fruit is made of everything the fruit is made of though came from the ground. It didn't start up. It started from the ground, and then all those little pieces that got lifted up from the ground were built up to make the fruit.
If we built really big stairs, and and this really big set of scaffolding, and hauled a whole bunch of resources up to the top of the scaffolding and built a house, you're saying that's the same thing as the fruit. And basically, we got all the potential energy of the whole house, but we did it in part.
Dude.
He's trolling.
You're right.
You're right.
This is why I love this channel.
Bob, you're a troll.
Does that not accurately describe the principle that you just established? Right?
Bro,
you just lailed the argument down to fucking stupidity. Okay, can you?
Why is that?
This?
Okay, what I just said is
that was
not correct.
Don't be a
Can you debunk this? Can you debunk this question? Okay, or this statement? Okay, anything brought out of equilibrium is giving it potential energy. Any matter brought. Any way you want to look at it. Now, you could say going upstairs, being absorbed up trees, or being heated up, or being pressurized, but any matter disequalized, taken out of disequilibrium, is giving it potential energy. Would you deny
I don't,
that? And if
I don't
so,
mind
give me an example.
discussing it, but your argument is invalid, because I can say the exact same thing and say, can you debunk unicorns? No, you can't. You can't prove they don't exist. That's ridiculous. Don't be negative.
Let me ask you a question.
What I'm telling you is that every time we get energy, we're bringing something out of equilibrium. If we take something out of equilibrium,
I don't mind if you say that. I'm not arguing saying that.
Remember,
okay?
Bob is talking about plus and minus, right?
Mean by
energy,
equilibrium.
plus
All I'm saying is I thought of a thing that seems to be not under the umbrella you put it under. Now, the thing I said about the house, does that not accurately represent exactly what he just said with the fruit?
No, it doesn't. No. Can you get the apple up there without the tree, Bob?
What?
Could the apple have gotten up there without the tree?
No, exactly.
So you have no argument, man. Stop it.
Exactly.
There's no argument. It takes energy to get anything out of equilibrium. Period.
So you agree that what I said about the house is literally the exact same point as the tree?
Bob calls it work.
I agree. Bob, I agree with
the stairs, the tree, the parts of the house are the nutrients, and the whole house together is the fruit. And all of the potential energy is taken up there in part.
You're agreeing with us, bro. All you're doing is agreeing with us.
So tell me why, when I said that, you said it was stupidity. If I'm agreeing with you,
because dude, you're trolling, bro.
You just called your own argument stupidity. If I'm agreeing with you, why would you call it stupidity?
Because you don't know you're fucking agreeing with us, stupid fuck, dude.
I was asking a question, and you called it stupidity. The question indicated that I was agreeing with you.
Because we brought up an example. All you did is change the example to a different form of fucking potential energy. That's all you did, bro.
He needed a different analogy. He got it.
Do you not understand the concept of taking a principle or a point and applying it to something more familiar to understand it?
You're jumping past. You said so all matter has got potential energy. Yes, all matter has potential energy. I mean, you can give all matter exists. Listen, you can give all matter potential energy. Yes,
and it all comes from the ground. It all comes from the ground. Every single bit of it.
Would you agree with that, Bob? Can you give all matter potential energy?
I understand now. Okay, I think that my house example is perfectly legitimate. It sounds like it is exactly what you're saying, but a separate example. Okay,
it's exactly the same thing, Bob, as the fruit.
So now that I've established that, and I'm okay with that being said, because it makes sense now.
Back up.
Okay?
You said that matter you said that all matter cannot be given potential energy. In one word or another.
I never said that. I never said that once.
All right, you didn't say it exactly like that, but you made it sound like all matter. You said all matter.
I said
pretty much
that your statement makes it sound like everything everywhere has potential energy.
It can be.
That's what it sounds like.
Moved out of equilibrium, yeah.
And if that's the case, if all matter everywhere has potential energy, you're making a nothing statement because why are you bringing it up? Everything has potential. Everything also exists. Big deal. It's just the way
they say that everything in motion stays in motion unless acted on by a force. Okay, so a brick wall. A brick wall would so everything in motion stays in motion unless acted on by a force. So that brick wall would have to be a force.
Like a similar statement as walking outside and looking at the sky and saying, "Hey, the sky is blue." Yeah, big whoop-dee. It doesn't mean anything.
What creates the waves? What creates waves, Bob?
Okay.
Creates weight.
They're calling gravity and acceleration.
Like you've established what you were saying already. That's fine. Jimbo, do you honestly think that I have gotten on the show every single time and tried to troll the show?
No, not every time, no. But just now.
I'm asking Jimbo. I'm asking Jimbo.
We don't care that much.
I think he raised some good points, bro. But I've never heard you argue against logic. And to me, gravity.
I'm not arguing against logic. I was demanding that you explain your logic.
I actually.
Well, would you agree with this,
guys? One at a time, guys. One at a time, please.
This is my last question. My last question. Would you agree with gravity is basically the kinetic energy we give it by raising something up, or basically, would you agree that gravity is just that acceleration is got to be, it takes energy to either make something sink. I mean, basically, you've got to. I mean,
no, I don't believe gravity exists. So if anything that you say about gravity, I'm automatically going to say it's bullcrap because I don't think gravity is real.
Good.
I think it's completely entirely fake.
I'm with you on that. I just think that gravity, there's no acceleration without the energy first put into. That's my whole point. Is there's no gravity, there's no acceleration without the energy first put into it to give. You got to first give it the potential. That's my only point.
I think our Creator designed things to go down when they were dropped. That's what I think about it. Whatever the explanation is beyond that, I don't care what the story they came up with. It's all bullcrap. God designed things to go down when they got dropped.
Well, we dam rivers to raise the water behind the dam so we can produce electricity. The stored water is potential.
Jimbo, did you say you weren't talking about me?
To make them fall down, right?
Jimbo?
Yeah, when I made the reference to someone here as a troll every day, I was not referring to you, very honestly. So you took it personally.
Okay.
It wasn't even directed at you.
It sounded like you were talking directly to me, and for what I thought that was very strange.
Yeah,
I didn't think that anyone saw me as a troll here. No, and if you do, that's fine. I can go.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that comment at you. 0%. Though it poorly timed or whatever, you took it that way, and I'm sorry for that. But there was no intent, and it was not you I was referring to.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I was not trolling in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think you're a troll. You come here, you make good points, man.
But I was literally
Brian, you might have spit out the troll word.
More clearly, what you were telling me.
I'm not the one who brought out the troll word. Jimbo did.
You might have spit it out, is all I said.
I started the cascade on the troll word, and
dude, I've heard him make good points, man.
And I am sorry for that.
But hey, it was a great
I've
argument.
heard Jimbo make a lot of arguments from logic, and I like arguments from logic. That's everything I base my life on, and everything I base my discussions on come from logic and common sense, man. So I don't like disagreeing with Bob, man. But when he can't agree that we can give all matter potential energy, then there's either a mix-up or trolling.
It was a good 5-minute rumble.
I don't agree or disagree with that. I don't even know what that exactly means. So that isn't the point that I was getting at. All I was saying was when you said that everything has to get potential energy before it falls, that statement to me sounded like, well, wait a minute, things already start. I mean, a rock at the top of a mountain didn't need to be put there by a human, but it'll still fall. Like, I mean, to me, so it doesn't. That doesn't sound like.
No, a
don't
rock
wind could move it.
Something's got to be moved.
The rock on the
got to be taken from disequilibrium. It's got to be taken from equilibrium, no matter how you look at it. It could be disintegrated.
I don't know what you mean by equilibrium.
The rock on the mountain.
Yes, you do know what I mean by equilibrium. You do know what I mean by equilibrium. Okay.
Listen, guys. The rock was actually part of the mountain. It's not. It wasn't just a mountain lifted up a rock, right? It was actually part of the mountain. So.
If no energy is put into it, it's just going to sit there. Okay. If you want me to go down, all the way down to the scale of the moisture breaking down, changing the elements and all that shit, dude, and the air moving that moisture.
Well, no. Okay.
It's
The reason I
still
can't agree with
energy to move something, bro.
The reason I can't agree with it is because it would directly refute the creation. That's why God created everything that we have, and He didn't have to lift a single bit of it. He spoke it into existence, and it was there.
That's what the Creator gave us. That's what the Creator gave us, was energy.
Right, but He didn't have to put energy in it to get it up there. He spoke it, and it was up there.
Nature.
That's it. There was no energy involved. He spoke it, and it was there.
So He spoke it. That's energy. He used energy if He spoke it.
Okay, Brian. Here we go.
The very first.
I'm not arguing against the Creator, dude. I'm not arguing against the Creator.
Here's where.
Guys, one at a time, guys, please.
I'm not going to make the claim that God has to use energy to create things.
I wasn't talking to you, Bob.
And it was there. However that happens, it happened. I'm not going to make the claim that He had to use.
Are you talking about every single apple tree after the one apple tree?
Yo, stop over talking each other, guys, please.
I want to get to Bob's point, though. Where's your point? Because you said the Creator created everything, and so it's already there. It's already there.
Right. My point is that
energy,
if everything has to have something put into it for it to fall back down, that means the things that God created up on the mountain, He had to put energy into to fall back down. I don't agree with that. I think He could have spoken into existence at the top of the mountain, and it's just been there the whole time. But I also think that He could have set rules in place to allow it to fall, whether He put energy into it or not.
The thing that's on the mountain, is the ground. It's just up higher.
Yeah,
it's still the ground.
Right.
He's trolling, dude.
Yeah. Everything comes from the ground.
So like even different elevations, ground on top of other ground. Like it didn't have to be lifted up to ground level or above ground level. It's just the ground, and it's a hill that was went higher than other ground. There was
Let's start from right. How about this? Let's start from right now. Okay, let's not go back to creation. All that. I'll never argue against a creator. Okay, so from right now, to move something any direction at all is going to take energy. Okay, to get something to fall. It's going to take energy to get it to fall. Period, dude.
Brian, your mic's mad loud.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
I love Brian's hamburger
You like
mic.
screaming at us.
Starting from right now.
I call it the hamburger mic, like he's eating a hamburger.
If you want something to fall, you have to put energy into it.
Thank you. Then we're in agreement. I definitely agree with you.
I don't have anything that would like that I can't think of a thing that would make that not true. That sounds reasonable.
And we also agree everything comes from the ground, right? Like no matter where it is now, at one point it started from the ground.
I don't agree with that.
Well,
because he said that stars and
Let's say this, and nothing else. How about this? Nothing else comes from. Nothing else will be created without the ground.
Well,
let's just start from now.
Bob, those were different verses, though, where He created the
heavens and the earth,
the land, right, and then created the lights in the sky like 3 days later. Remember that?
Right. No, I'm not. All I'm saying is those didn't come from the ground. It indicates that He just made them, not that they came from the ground.
Sure. Okay.
But from this point on, no other gases are created. I mean, all the gases created are basically come from solid matter. And
I can easily agree with everything that we get now has to have already been here in some form. He made everything.
Yes.
It said He finished.
Fair enough.
So everything that we get has to have already been here in some form.
Absolutely. Right. Now, we are users, though, aren't we, Bob? Right? We're users. Beneficiaries of this nature creation.
Rightful users. He gave it to us.
Sure. But we use this always at ground level, okay? And when I say use, I mean we drill for water. We cut down trees and build houses, right? We're using these natural things. another tree's gonna grow right where the one I cut off though is, right? It's still gonna grow again. I didn't control that. I controlled the house I built. You know, I controlled the minerals I pull out of the ground and feed myself, feed my family, all the fruits and vegetables and stuff, right? But everything still grows with or without me. And when we're talking about potential energy, that is potential energy, because if I'm hungry, I'll just go to a tree. I have the fruit there to give me energy to have children. And if that tree's done, if I'm done with that tree, I'm gonna cut it down and burn it, or I'm gonna cut it into slats to make a house, shelter, protection, all this shit, right? There's energy everywhere, right? All coming from the ground.
Well, yeah, E equals MC squared, right?
Wait a minute.
That's right.
Wait a minute. How do you
That's right.
determine what the potential energy of something is?
Well,
that's how much we put into it. That potential is the measurement. The potential is the measurement that is put into it, not necessarily by us, but by temperature, by pressure, by us, by moving something.
The reason I asked this guy, I was just thinking about like the potential energy. Okay, something that is not as heavy as the thing it's lifting. It seems like, okay, so because if you use like a fulcrum, right, you can lift something that's way heavier than what you would be able to just pick it up off the ground, right? Does everyone understand that?
Yep. A lever.
Okay.
A fulcrum.
So doesn't that technically mean that we could engineer our way into free energy?
Dude, we have. And it's big, dude, I guarantee you there's probably 5 different ways that people even in the back of their head know of, man. There's got to be, okay, if there's a constant, if I lift something up, I could give you a couple ways right now to perpetual motion, okay? You want perpetual motion? Just tie a string, okay? Tie a string and hang a magnet on it, right? Okay. Yeah. Now directly where that string comes to rest at, to put the same charge. So you have a north side facing down from where you hung it, and then have a magnet on the ground facing up with the north side. So the like size attractions will repel. It'll never come to rest. It's so.
You sure? You sure about this, Brian?
How could it?
It won't find an equilibrium. It'll find an equilibrium point. No.
No, they will repel.
Yeah. Even with the friction of the string and wherever it's tied, it won't. Yeah.
I think you'll have an equilibrium point. I'd like to see it.
Even if at some point it stops, like it would still be stopping away from the other magnet and therefore being repelled, and some sort of energy would be used to repel it.
Yeah, but it's eventually going to come to rest, though.
It won't, because magnetic flux is also in motion, right?
Yeah. How could it come to rest when the rest spot is the repulsion? As long as you have a constant repulsion and a constant, dude, you could use
I don't know. Listen, I have my own ideas for a magnetic perpetual motion machine, but I don't think that. I think your thing will come to rest at some point.
I could do it right now, bro. I've already, dude. It's easy to do. Just take a freaking string. It ain't even got to be big. You could do it in any room, okay? And just take 2 magnets, okay? And
2 round magnets, the ones with the holes in the center, right? 2 round magnets.
Any kind of magnet. It doesn't matter. Yep. Just take the same like charges and put them
reverse
directly.
The polarities. Yeah, reverse the polarities,
and then
it'll go.
It'll never. How could it find it? How could it find
I think it'll stop.
How could it? If stop is the plumb bob.
Stop. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that and record it and show it to it?
Yeah, I think it'll stop personally.
For it to stop, it's plumb. It has to stop at plumb. Would you agree with that? It has to stop at plumb.
No,
okay.
I don't agree with that.
So you think it'll stop somewhere other than plumb?
It won't. I know it won't stop at plumb because the magnet's rejecting it.
Right.
But
continue moving.
So if the magnet
just come to rest on the side of it.
That'll be great. That'll be great.
That would be
2-minute video, Brian. If you ever do it, it'll be a great 2-minute video
now.
just to show it.
I don't.
Hold on, guys. Let me just.
I'll do it
talk
right
to
now.
Jeremy for just a second. Jeremy, even if the magnet stopped like swinging or moving and was just sitting there away from the other magnet, it's still being repulsed, and there still has to be something keeping that gap there between one magnet and the other. So there must be some form of energy keeping it repulsed, right? Even if it's sitting
but if there's
still.
if there's no movement though, then so what? Somebody's roboting.
Well,
if it stops moving, so what?
One edge of the magnet of the north and one edge of the south is always going to keep it moving around.
I'm telling you guys, I was into magnetic perpetual motion things, and I mean, I could be wrong.
And Brian just blew your mind right there, didn't he?
What did he say?
Well,
hold on, I'm doing it right now.
Okay,
give me a minute.
Go on.
You gonna post a video?
I'm just gonna show y'all on screen. I need about 5 minutes. I'll show you on screen. It'll keep on twirling. It can't because it's got to. The only way it could stop is for it. The only way it could stop is for it to hit plumb. The only way it'll stop is if the magnets ever run out of repulsion.
Well, keep it going.
The string will always seek plumb.
Keep it going overnight.
The string will always seek plumb, and the magnets will always opposite. I mean, likes will always repel, and the string will automatically seek plumb.
Yeah,
this is
demonstrate this real quick.
Brian, can you give us your address in case we have to call 911, please? Okay.
No, keep it going overnight.
Who just said that?
That was
me,
Gadget
Inspector. Yeah. You never know. It's dangerous experience down there you're doing.
This ain't dangerous.
Might be dangerous.
Brian, keep it going.
It might start swinging enough. It wraps Brian up and starts putting him into perpetual motion. Who knows?
Brian, keep it going.
Here's one other way to do it. Let me tell you one more way to do it.
Okay, Brian, Gadget Inspector here. Are you a ball head or a flat earther?
I'm a realist,
Gadget,
man.
you've never heard of Brian Leakey?
Gee
whiz. Gadget, you
need to stop fucking shouting into the microphone.
Your list.
Can you
get
not
your list of who's who going. Come on, Gadget.
I lean toward flat, but I'm open-minded. I lean toward flat. But let me tell you another way to do this. You take a 20-foot pipe, okay, and you a 20-foot pipe, 6-inch pipe, okay, and no, say a 5-inch pipe, PVC, okay. You cap it off at the bottom. You stand it straight up and down. You put it like, let's say, just tie it to a bicycle tire, okay, where it spins really, really easy, okay. So now you have it facing straight up and down, right? And so you can fill it. You fill it with water, okay? And you lift it off the ground where it could spin like a propeller. You fill it with water and you leave a tiny bit of air at the top, just a smidge gap of air at the top. But before you cap the top, you take a 2-liter of air. You just take a 2-liter and put the lid on it, okay? And you're gonna tape some weight to the neck of that 2-liter, just enough weight that it can still float it. In other words, it's not going to just rush up, but it's enough weight where it'll float it up. Yeah. So
Brian,
it's got a good. Hold on. So now you take that thing and then you put a cap over the top of it, right? And you have it straight up and down. Now you let it go, and it's going to spin. The weight at the top. You might need 2 of them, right? But the weight at the top is going to fall down, right? But then when it hits the bottom, it's going to the air in the 2-liter is going to float back up, so it's going to float that weight back to the top. But you might need to do a plus sign with them to counterset them.
Brian,
did you do that, Brian? Did you?
Hold on.
Did you do that, Brian? What happens to the water?
Let's see how the magnet thing goes. Let's see how the magnet thing goes. Brian, let's see how the magnet thing goes. Keep it going overnight, and let me know if it stops or not. You don't have to have it on video. I'll take your word for it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. If you say it's still going, I have magnets and string, and I'll set one up at my house if you say it keeps going. And I was into this big time. I was looking into V-Track, rail guns, magnetic rail guns, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, magnet
string.
This thing you're saying with the string, no, because I don't think it'll. I think it'll come to an equilibrium point because I know how.
You've heard of maglev trains, right, Jeremy? Right, maglev.
Yeah, they use electromagnets, no?
Absolutely, but they're north-south polarized, right? So they can slow the train down. Let's say they just go, and they took off quick. I was in Shanghai, took a maglev from the airport to Shanghai, and the acceleration is awesome, right? And you're floating, and to slow down, just reverse the polarity, which we can't do on Brian's magnets, right? We can't reverse it, so. Yeah. What's going to happen on Brian's magnet? It's going to sit there and keep going around. Because that's
I'd love to see it, and if you say it doesn't stop, then I'll do it myself with the kids. But I mean, I honestly I've fucked with magnets before. I think it's going to stop. I could be wrong. I'm not infallible.
No. We're all wrong, right? All of us. Fucking wrong.
But I love this idea. The best thing I had was to use the gravity. I was gonna use a magnetic rail gun. A little track that you shoot a magnet through or something, and it goes up. It ejects it with a lot of force, and then you could have a slant and have it coming back down, going into another track.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a perpetual type thing.
Yeah, I was trying to make. I mean, I'm not an engineer or an architect or nothing, so I can't really do it. But
I can envision that. Friction is the biggest problem, right?
My biggest problem is I don't know how much force it takes to get it to go into the magnetic railgun one. I don't know how much force it takes to get it going into the track. If it's just a little tiny force, then it's possible. But if it's a lot of force, then it might not be possible.
If you're only using, let's say, earth-based magnets, right? Like what do they call them?
Neodymium.
Right. Once we start using electromagnets, now we're using energy from some other electromagnetic source, right? So it's not free energy, right?
Well, I wouldn't use that's. I would never use electromagnets. You want this to all be magnets.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. I was big on V-gate magnetic tracks at one point. Those really had my interest peaked for a while. There still might be something to them, but I saw the railgun one and it looked a lot better. I just can't tell how much force you need to get it going into the track. That's my biggest problem. I'd have to actually build one. See,
that's the thing. You need to actually do it and see what happens.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to tell Brian not to do his magnet thing he's about to do right now. I'm all for it. If that keeps going, that's amazing.
Naval magnet guns, the rail guns, leave the barrel at 5,600 kilometers an hour. That's max 6.
Dude, they're saying those are shooting over the curve, bro. I brought that to them guys in Gems this morning. And they said they're shooting those over the curve.
Don't know about that. I look into it.
Well, I know they're not shooting them over the curve because there's no fucking curve there, but that was their story.
For me, they're radar targeted. The radar gets them. Then they shoot. Okay.
Yeah, what'd they say? The radar's going over the curve
nautical miles, 110 land miles. That's the furthest range a railgun can go.
Yeah, what'd they say? The radar's going over the curve too, no? Everything's going over the curve.
No, it's bouncing off the atmosphere or shit like that, they say.
Everything's going over the curve, bouncing off the atmosphere. I know. Refraction. Fucking guys. I was arguing with Zanuck for hours today about refraction, how light is bending things down but making us see them higher, which makes no sense if you have a line of sight on something. Because we see the light. That's what you see when you look at an object. You see the light coming off it. And if the light's being bent down and I can already see it. Yeah, if the light's being bent down and I can already see it, why would I see it higher if I'm seeing light and the light's being bent down lower? Why would you see it higher?
The
light is coming into your eye from an elevated position, and your eye sees it at that elevated position.
What'd you say?
That the light bending down is coming into your eye from an elevated position, from an up direction, and so that's whatever angle it hits your eye is where you're going to see the object.
If something's level with me, and I already have line of sight on it.
Jeremy, you told
me if something's level with me and I have line of sight.
Don't go into optics. Don't go into optics because we're going to get this right here. Don't go into optics.
I just want to see this magnet that Brian's doing.
If I see something, it's there. If I see something, it's there. Even 200 kilometers away, it's there. It's no fucking refraction. Stop it, Dad. Stop it. That's fucking nonsense.
I bet you Brian's magnet stopped already. It's just going to come to an equilibrium point on the side of it. It's obviously not going to stop plumb because the magnet's forcing it away, but it's just going to come to stop on the side of it, I think.
But anyway, magnets, okay, magnets. They all lead to the, like ball earthers, it leads to the North Pole. Us, flat earthers, what does that mean? It leads to the center of our world, okay? So there's a force there. Something's happening.
At the North Pole, you said, Gadget?
Yeah, on a ball earth, it's the North Pole. But on our earth, it's the center.
Yeah.
Probably. That's how I envision it in my mind with North Pole.
What you mean probably? What you mean probably? It's the center.
I mean, that's how I envision it, yeah. I'll go with you on that. I don't know 100%, but I mean, that would make sense to me.
I think, Gadget, you got that mixed up on
can I just say something?
Idea. It is the North Pole, but the ball Earth is center. Yeah, the ball Earth, not flat Earth, right?
Yeah, but we can measure a force now. People can measure magnets, okay? Okay? And like we play around with magnets and that, okay? There's a force there. We can measure it, okay? It goes to the North Pole. Just say a ball, but then the ballers are saying that gravity is the center of the Earth that's pulling everything down. But we can't see that. It's the North Pole that's pulling everything towards it.
I don't know about that.
All compasses point south, I heard, right?
Of course you do. And then
you think everything's being pulled toward the North Pole?
Well, it depends if you put red or white in the arrow, you know.
It depends on which color you paint the needle, right?
I mean, magnetically, sure, but I don't think like everyday objects are.
The only force we can measure today, right? Magnets, okay? We can measure the magnets, okay? They all point to the center of the Earth, right? Our center is the North Pole. Their center is what? On top of the Earth. We can measure magnets, okay? We can't measure gravity.
Yeah, and a ball.
Which side of a magnet points north? Is it the north pole of the magnet or the south pole of the magnet?
Oh, FE, there's a force there now. I don't know. It all depends. Well, if you put
it's got to be that you pick a magnet up. It's got an N on one end and it's got an S on the other end. So the North Pole, is that the North Pole or is that actually the South Pole because it points to the North Pole because opposites attract?
It should be the South Pole of the compass, right?
That's right. So the North pointer on your compass should have a South Pole magnet on it.
Yeah.
In
Very good point there, FE. Are they fucking lying about that as well?
All the nonsense that we're told. There's things in this world that nobody thinks about, but that's the North Pole. Well, actually, is it the North Pole or is it the South Pole?
No.
Because it points north.
Exactly.
FE, you're just upside down.
Very good.
Stop
point.
it.
Are they showing us the other land?
I'll give you another. Let me give you another example to do with electron, because I mean magnetic field's an electron flow. But let me give you another example where I just question science. I just don't know. Like, listen to this. So we're all told the atom theory, right? Everything's made up of atoms. Yeah, we all agree on that. That's what we're told.
That's what we're. I agree. That's what we're told.
That's what we're told. Yeah, just work with me here. This is. I'm not doing controversial. This is what we're told. Everything's an atom, which consists of a neutron. I think that's the term for the central particle, and there's got an electron field where there's electrons, whether they're bouncing around or like spinning around in a field, or whether they're appearing and reappearing. I don't know, but they've got a field around it. We've all seen that picture, that diagram. So that diagram is not to scale. The scale is, so I've read, that if the neutron, the central particle, was a golf ball, the field of the electrons, the distance out from that golf ball, would be around about 8 miles. It's either 3 miles or 8 miles. I can't remember, but it's a long way away from the golf ball. And everything in between the outer edge of that electron field right into the neutron or nucleus, whatever they call it, that's empty space. And that apparently in three-dimensional space equates to 10 to the 12th power or something. That's how many of those nucleuses can fit in that electron field. So 10 to the 12th power, that's how much of any physical object is actually empty space. Because that's the gap between the solid bit in the middle and the electrons around the outside or whatever it is. So everything that's solid is actually almost completely empty space. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What makes a solid item solid? Because most of it is empty space. If we're made up of these atoms.
They say you actually never touch anything because of that empty space. You actually never touch anything.
So if I shine a light on you, Jeremy, why doesn't the light? Why can't I see it from the other side of you? Because most of you is empty space.
Yeah. Not most of you. 99.9% is what they say, if they've seen an atom, right, is empty space, if not more.
It's even more than that. It's even more than that. It's way more than that.
Mind right now.
It's 10 to the 12th power. Like that's a number we can't even. 12 zeros. We can't even figure it out. That's how much of it is empty space. And yet you touch the steering wheel of your car, it's solid. Touch a table, it's solid. Why is it solid? How the hell does that work?
Micro scale doesn't work. It doesn't work. Micro scale doesn't work on your steering wheel. That's why. Doesn't work.
Light's made up of protons. Protons are tiny. Why don't protons go through that empty space?
The micro scale doesn't work on the door you just slammed into. Right.
I don't believe anything they tell me at this point. Anything science says.
I'm a bit like you.
Good.
Sorry, man. That's Jeremy. That's exactly why I brought it up. I thought, hey, maybe I'm totally wrong, but just logically, you progress through those steps. You think, geez, why is it solid? Why doesn't light go through it? I just question it now. Where you just accepted it previously, maybe everyone's going to question it now in this room.
Well, it's going to be the density of the atoms, the number of atoms involved in such a small amount of stuff. There's lots of atoms.
Yeah, but they're all 99% empty space. All those atoms.
That's right.
Yeah, I know it. It's kind of like the reality that's kind of like, well, holy shit. If you guys seen, there was a video came out recently, scanning electron microscope showing a piece of gold or something, and you can actually see the spaces between the atoms.
No, I don't think they got that close.
Not buying that. This is right.
When we talk about refraction a minute ago, light bending and light going around corners. Why doesn't light go through a solid object if it's mostly empty space? Because it's made up of nanoparticles as well, isn't it?
Light on different surfaces, a mirrored object, most bounces off. Something like skin, some is absorbed and some is bounced off. What's
you can get light.
Called subsurface scattering of light.
Let's just say this.
You ever
this
put
is
a
right.
flashlight
This is
up
right
your
at the
hand?
hand. This is right at the hand argument. Nobody's ever seen an atom. Nobody ever.
Yeah,
Nobody's
exactly.
Yeah.
You ever put a flashlight up to your hand? You can see it through the other side.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, an IR light you see right through people's hands and stuff. They're infrared.
I can remember doing that when I was a kid. You'd have a flashlight and you'd put it up to your hand.
Yeah, good point.
And you could see you couldn't see the whole light. Obviously, you'd have some absorption of light through your skin and stuff, but
your hand glows. Yeah, you're right. It glows red on the other side, doesn't it?
I just thought of that. Yeah.
But you don't see the flashlight, or you don't see the actual light, right?
What about X-rays?
Yeah.
What about them?
Everything's light. They're all different
they go through
frequencies
your
of light.
body and they leave a picture on,
we are light, by the way. The light of the world, right? Created from a spark.
Light is created locally by a process. Can't travel forever. Obeys a inverse square law of decay. End of story.
You talking about attenuation?
Guys, did you see the Blue Shepherd launch there today?
I don't know what that means. What happened? Blue Shepherd
launch. Yeah, it's
not without a vomit bag.
Just to totally change the subject, yeah.
No, it's funny. The Blue Shepherd launch. You didn't see that there. That was on Facebook there today.
What country
Blue Shepherd
was it?
launch is they're trying to get normal people up into space. So it's kind of a SpaceX.
I need just about 3-4 more minutes.
You go up and you get up to the stratosphere. You stay about 5 or 6 minutes in space, and then you come back down.
Yeah, that sounds like Virgin Atlantic. That sounds like Virgin Atlantic been trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that today? That was on the internet there today. Did you not see it? No.
That ain't that wouldn't really.
Fake
that wouldn't really do. Yeah, that wouldn't really do anything for me, anyways. Like, in order for this to end via space, you'd have to have tens of thousands of people going to the moon or doing orbits and shit. You know, just going up for 5 minutes and coming back down really ain't gonna do. I don't care how many people do that.
No,
that ain't doing nothing for me.
Even the mainstream media, okay, Sky News, they don't show that shit because you know it's bullshit. It's all CGI. You know it's all bullshit.
Yeah, I don't care if a billion. Go ahead.
The Jetsons are running a space hotel this day. They were cartoon characters. They became real life people, and they're up in space in their hotel, and they're taking tourists. So hey, it's all real.
Yeah, I don't care how many people were to do that, go up really, really high for 5 minutes, and they saw a curve. That wouldn't do anything for me if I went up and saw a curve. You know.
Do you guys follow NASA ideas? You follow NASA, NASA's website. There was an article there the day before yesterday. Okay, the 1969, the 1960s moon landings. Okay, and you remember Apollo 11.
There was only bubbles. There was only bubbles coming out of George Jetson's little space car.
Yeah, but apparently all the with the gravity Earth,
bubbles. Right. Come on, man.
After 50 years, apparently the gravity of the Earth is pulling back the space junk from the 1960s back to Earth. It's going to fall back to us.
Yeah, I'm real fucking scared. They didn't put nothing up there. What's up?
Brian said he's on in about 4 minutes. That's what he said.
He said it stopped after 4 minutes?
No,
I just about got no. I just about got it. I'm gonna show it on camera, but I'm still tying the string to the plumb bob.
You can just tell us, bro. We'll believe you. If it works, I'll do it at my house.
Well, we're gonna find out live. You heard it here first.
Who's taking bets? I'm betting it don't go. It won't last.
I'll bet it'll last.
You think so?
I'm going all the way around.
Brian, where are we going to see that in general, is it?
I think the ones hanging free will try to flip over.
That's a good point. That's going to make it where it wouldn't flip. That was the tough part of it, is that you could just hang it any old way, but having it centered exactly where it can't flip.
Good. The magnets are hard to keep oriented and glue into place.
Good point. Good point, Left Line. Good point.
Brian, in order so we can see, how long it's going to go, don't push it too hard at first. Just let it go a little bit, right? You don't need to put a lot of force.
Push it at all. I'm not going to push it at all. I'm just going to let it push itself.
All right.
Yeah, magnets, even when you're trying hard, they slap together, break. You You got to have spares when you're trying to put stuff together with magnets. They're actually hard to work with.
Yeah, but they're always consistent, right? Magnets.
Oh, yeah, but again, a lot of them are fragile. If they smack together, you know.
Neodymium magnets. I was playing with neodymium magnets at one point, and they were fucking dangerous. They were so powerful.
Oh yeah,
I got my wife tying the knot, man. But I'm gonna say, look, yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same as trying to get perpetual motion like the V gate and all that, because you're having to bypass dead spots. This right here is just one spot. You're only contacting it with just where it barely repels. And yeah, we'll see in a minute. But just about. Bear with me. I'm sorry for even interrupting.
Take your time. No, I think it's gonna come to rest at some point on the side of it, some arbitrary point. We'll see. I mean, if you keep it going forever, that essentially is perpetual motion right there.
I know my laser at the end of a string never stops moving. Every little breeze, every little vibration from a car going down the road, and I'm 7 stories up, it never comes to a dead stop.
Left lane. I never would have thought about I never would have thought about the flipping left lane until you brought that up, man. Just great thinking, right? Like I never would have thought about that until I tried it, But
yeah, I've kind of messed with it quite a bit, and that's the big. Using those real strong, rare earth, neodymium, whatever. They're real hard to. They're real hard to mess with. You'd have to just about put it on like a stick or something, and then swing the stick.
No, you just gotta make sure the distance.
What are we trying to do here? What are we trying to do? I used to sell magnets for a living. What are we trying to do here?
Magnets, one glued below the other, suspended over it, will never stop moving.
Hold on, let's see what FE thinks.
Brian's gonna show us perpetual motion, FE.
Let's see what FE thinks. He's gonna make a pendulum essentially, right? One end is gonna be a magnet pointing, pointing with the opposite direction of a magnet that's underneath it, plumb underneath it.
And a stationary magnet underneath it. Stationary.
Yeah, he thinks it's never going to come to rest. Essentially, it'll just keep moving perpetually forever.
So are these like 2 north poles facing each other?
Yeah.
Or
what's the polarity? Yeah, it'll never rest. It'll never rest.
Oh, I don't know. It's going to rest. I'm telling you.
The lines of flux vary on the magnets.
Yeah, the flux changes. I don't think it'll ever rest. I don't think it'll ever rest.
See, I'm with that.
I don't think it'll ever rest.
And
I think you can build a perpetual motion machine with a magnet.
Always repels. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, you'll see. I mean, you might have small vibrations from wind and shit, but essentially, this thing's gonna stop moving from the magnetism.
No, I don't think it ever will. The other thing is every North Pole, there is no.
It'll lift up.
No, there's no pure North Pole either.
Spin the other way. Yeah. Right.
North Pole still has some South Pole, some South polarity in it, and vice versa as well. There's no absolute North Pole or South Pole in a magnet.
Yeah, and the Earth itself, the plane has several North Poles, including
the
Atlantic.
It does.
Is that
Atlantic,
even a static magnet has more than one.
Is that
North
due
Pole
to
on any
unobtainable? Like it's an unobtainable perfection, or is that due to no one's taken the time to get it that way?
Well, we're talking about Brian Leakey here,
humanly
impossible.
Right?
I think it's unobtainable, Bob. I think it's unobtainable.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, this ain't gonna keep going. It might go for a couple minutes or something, or maybe hours. But if you leave that shit hanging over,
let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. They already use this idea to create electricity in large generators, copper coils with magnets surrounding them. I mean, we already have this idea. Yeah. All the lights you have on in your house are Brian's going to present it to us.
Clocks.
Which is awesome. They're not using a pendulum.
Clocks.
They're using magnets and copper, but they're not using fucking a pendulum that don't stop moving.
They're using magnets spinning due to a disequilibrium force called water, usually, or air, or whatever it is, right? Some sort of nature to create.
Oh, here's Brian. Here's Brian now.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure it'll never rest.
It'll rest. I'm telling you guys.
No,
Mark my words.
If I was a gambling man, I'd nearly put my house on it.
I would put $10 on this that it'll come to rest. If it was that easy to make perpetual.
$10. You're on. Come on, let's go.
No, I don't want to bet. I'm just saying I would. He said he put his house on it, but I mean, I would just do like $10.
That's how confident I
am. I mean, I'm kind of confident. Not my whole house confident. My wife would kill me, but.
Hey guys, you know who's confident? George Nutsack is 100% confident the Earth's a globe, and he's willing to participate in some kind of demonstration, let's say. So he wants me to put together a write-up on what the demonstration could be, the procedures, and forward it to them. So if you know anybody that knows anything about sniper rifles, let me know, because I'll need some technical stuff on distances and gauges and whatnot.
Wait, what's going on?
Remember during the show we
Coriolis?
said, yeah, the Coriolis thing. I asked George in the chat. I said, "Hey George, how confident are you?" 100%. And I said, "You want to take part?"
Ask him if he'll put his house up.
I said, "You want to take part in a an experiment?" He said, "Yeah, sure." So sounds like he's willing.
He thinks if you fire a rifle, I think it's west, that it would rise. So you could get him to calculate and do a safe deal, right? He could put his head at whatever, put it a foot below where he thinks that bullet is going to end up, and then put a target wherever we think the bullet is going to end up, and then fire away.
Yeah.
Rocky, Brandon, simple. Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts on this magnet thing? Is it going to stop or keep going forever?
It'll never stop, Jeremy. Get your keys to your house ready, buddy. I'm coming to collect.
I don't know. I think about that all the time too. That magnet thing.
So how he's going to prove Coriolis?
Well, I haven't told him what I was asking him about yet, but
how would you even prove that?
I was just getting him on the hook by having him stand whatever it is 2 miles away. And having a sniper fire a sniper bullet at him.
Well, we should probably use like a cardboard cutout of him or something just in case.
No, he's 100% sure. Why would we do that?
As I said to Rumpus about standing under the Eiffel Tower and I'll drop a bowling ball on you. Like,
you're making me think of that.
They won't man up for this.
You're making me think of the Super Troopers movie.
What did they do in that?
Remember when they were testing out the body armor?
Oh, yeah.
And he was shooting at the target. He's like, what about that little guy? He's like, don't worry about that little guy.
Oh, that's right.
You never saw that?
Yeah, good movie. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll ask him on the side sometime, unrelated, about how far the bullet would deflect after, say, good sniper, a mile.
Ask him at what meter he'd prefer to stand away.
Right? Yeah, where would you feel safe?
Yeah.
No, it's simple. Just ask
so
him
that he gives the variable, right? He's the variable right there. It's him.
Sniper manual.
I tell you, I say, where would you? Here you go. You say, where would you feel safe, George? If he says 1,000 yards, so okay, George, I'll give you another 200 yards on top of that, and now I'll shoot you.
Yeah. I'm not saying I want to participate, but yeah.
I like the cardboard cutout idea first, just so George knows what he's up against, right?
Yeah, just the cardboard cutout. Yeah.
Of course, do a life size.
Yeah, life size.
Get a life size cardboard cutout of him shaving.
Put a transit right next to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then the next shot, I can shoot the transit out from underneath him.
Exactly. Shoot the transit, not George.
He's 100% sure, so he might insist that he stands there instead of the cardboard.
Yeah, what the
fuck? This is so ridiculous.
What if we flinch or a mosquito gets in our ear when we pull the trigger? He doesn't want to stand there. Do a cardboard, George. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Sensible. What if the wind blows? That's all they're gonna do if we hit the target, which we would. Oh, the wind blew it that way.
Oh yeah.
There's no way to even prove. So I mean, there's no way to even prove that it's actually happening. How would they even prove it?
Right, exactly. So this is beautiful
How
because
could you prove it?
we propose this
let's get a
and
license.
then just wait for the
Let's get a
excuses to
license.
flow. Like, oh no, the wind. Oh no, the spin. Oh no, you can't get that accurate. Just wait.
The rifling in the barrel, yeah, all kinds of shit.
Give him everything. Give him all the parameters. What gun, what bullet, what
Sure.
you know, what grain to use, how much powder, everything.
Yep. Rifling, barrel length. I mean, come on.
Velocity.
Everything. Right?
Hell yeah.
Get one of their professional snipers to come in that they trusted all these years.
Let's do this. Yeah. That'd be so funny to put the cardboard cutout George right there, and it tags him, right? Say, George, we didn't account for Coriolis on this one, right? Okay, you move into the target. Move into the target.
Hey, can y'all see this?
Yep, we're watching, Brian. Thank you.
No one can say Brian isn't a man of action.
Dude, guy's got it going on.
I'm telling you, bro, that's gonna fucking stop.
What's we looking at here?
Well, potentially perpetual motion, but we'll see.
Well, this could take hours. Just let it go overnight, and keep that room sealed. You got any currents going in there? Central air unit or something?
Doors wide open in the background.
Here's what this test is. If there's this test right here is a test whether the field is in flux or not. If the field is stationary, then it will eventually stop. If the field is in motion, it can't possibly stop. So this test is to see whether the field is fluxing or not.
Brian, put that bottom magnet, the black one there, put that on a little roundabout and spin it and see what happens.
No, Brian, go over there and just try to stop it and see if you can physically stop it from, No, gently set it up against the edge. Don't drop it in the middle. Just gently set it against it.
Okay.
Yeah, try to stop it.
It's circling, bro. There's no way to stop it, bro.
There you go. You got to stop.
It's 8 inches off center, though, bro. It's going to move.
No, it stopped. It did stop.
You guys.
Oh, no, it's not stopped. Trust me. It's shaking everywhere. It's trying to go. Watch.
It's gonna, though, because it's at its equilibrium point. I told you guys. I know magnets.
Well, just wait. Just wait. Just give it a little bit. Give it a minute or two. See what happens.
It's trying. It looks like it's trying. It looks like it's trying.
What are we trying to prove here, guys? What are we trying to prove?
Magnets. That's all.
Perpetual motion.
Why is it got to
more and
prove
more,
anything, man?
Surely.
Let's just enjoy the observation. It doesn't need to prove something.
It's moving. It is moving.
I'm telling you, it's gonna settle. It's only wiggling. You got all the doors shut in there. You got your central air on.
Brian,
I could blow on this thing and probably make it move, but I'm not gonna do that.
No, don't.
Brian, spin your
hold your breath.
Just
Start.
Spin it.
Hold your breath.
Put
Kudos to you, Brian, for setting this up so quickly.
That was quick, bro. Nice work.
Great work.
Good job, man. Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to side with Jeremy right now. Yeah,
I told you guys it would stop. This is why in my magnetic perpetual motion machine, I had to go use the up and down thing, so there was no equilibrium point in my device.
How big are those
it's
magnets?
Not stopped yet. From where I had it stopped, it's moving a little more. So let's just keep watching.
Yeah. How big are those? I'm not sure, what the size is from your shot.
That's Coriolis. That's Coriolis.
Brian, I'll give you $50 to give it a nudge.
Are those like the size of quarters or what?
Those look like some big magnets.
Ring magnets out of microwaves. They're about the size
my God,
of,
the cat.
Like a small bagel or
gonna
what?
Move it.
About the size of, it's about
small
2 inches.
2 inches?
Maybe
Okay.
Inch and 3/4 across.
Did you just go like on a microwave buying spree or something, or what?
What?
Where'd you get them all? Where'd you get them from?
People throw microwaves away, Bob. You don't know that?
It still hasn't stopped, man. But it's
Jeremy, I've got a rough design for a perpetual motion magnetic device as well. I'll scratch it down and I'll send it to you, man, and we can compare notes.
I'm interested in perpetual motion too.
Now I want to go to Goodwill and
I'm
buy
gonna try one more
microwave.
thing, Jeremy. I'm gonna lift it up a little bit because when I tied it off, it went down. So I'm gonna try and lift it up to where it's got more force trying to make it plumb. Give me just 1 second. But I don't know if it ever stopped completely, man. It's not stopping, but it's not moving like it was.
Bro.
But I don't see how it can stop, man. Y'all see the movement?
There's an equilibrium point. It'll always stop.
Brian, what would happen? Brian, what would happen if you put your hand between the two magnets?
Nothing.
Is there an effect? Nothing.
You'd have to have something that interferes with the field. See that wobble right there? I don't think will ever stop because there's a magnetic field in between them.
And that I don't believe that would ever find that point on its own. Like that would have just continued to move randomly forever.
Right, I do too. Sure. I think it kept falling off to one side or the other.
Okay, let it give it.
It's only because Brian stopped it.
Let it swing. Let it swing,
Once
and
you
let's
put
check
it in
on
motion.
it tomorrow. Yeah, let it swing, and then we'll check on it tomorrow. Because it'll take a while for it to stop.
Yeah, but if I would do that, I want to lift it up a little bit to give it more resistance because it's down a little pretty low. So I need to lift it up just a little and then try and rest it because it doesn't have as much force trying to plumb itself as if I lift it up about 2 more inches, it'll have more force trying to plumb itself, I think. But I'll try.
Get it adjusted.
Then I'll just let it sit.
Get it adjusted. Give it a push and check on it in the morning.
Yeah, I'll do
that'll
that.
take a while.
I'm gonna lift it up one more time. I'm gonna lift it up and tie it off, and I'll show you in just a second.
Yeah, Brian, lift it up, and put that the string magnet right over center of the bottom magnet, right? And see what happens.
Yeah, Roger that.
Yeah.
And see, if you connected a rod with a pulley, right, and gears, you could set that thing in motion. And if you overcome the friction of the pulleys and gears, that thing could create energy perpetual, right? Like you could turn a generator or whatever it may be if you gear it down. Isn't that the theory?
Well, you can create electricity, right? Isn't that the theory? Rocky?
No, what I'm saying is you could run whatever. You could run a motor. You could run a generator. You could run whatever on magnetic perpetual motion. I mean, it'd have to be big magnets.
End result is electricity, right? You know, for us.
Self-generated electricity, right? No usable energy. I mean, no used up energy.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm telling you, the way Brian has it set up, it might take a while. Like tomorrow morning, that thing will be stopped no matter how hard he pushes it right now.
See, I disagree. I think it would always have that little shimmer.
Yeah, it might have that little
magnetic field. Yeah.
It might, but that might even stop. I don't know about that though.
And I'm not sure if you put it in motion, if it would keep like going back and forth and falling to one side or not forever. But
like I said,
I know it would always have that shimmer.
Brian had his magnet off to the side, the north and north off to the side. Yeah, they're going to come to an equilibrium. But if he drops that string down with that magnet to the one on the ground, straight on top, it's going to reject, right? It's either one going to go up or away or somewhere, and around is the best choice.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it always settle towards the north?
I could see this thing never stopping if you had the magnets perfectly leveled, the one on the string and the one on the ground, maybe.
Vertical. I mean vertical. You drop a north magnet on top of each other. They'll just sit there on a pencil like we've done before, right? And if you spin one, it'll spin just enough until it reaches the friction of the pencil, right? Now, if Brian drops that string down there, it's just going to, just directly down. He was off to the side. Bless his heart. He gave us a good show. But
I can't believe that cat didn't go after that moving object.
Me either. I thought the
it
cat
took a minute, but it took a minute, but he went after it, man, just now. But when I had the camera off, but I got him up. Can y'all see it now?
Put some feathers on it, and you got yourself a cat toy forever.
Yeah, you got a perpetual motion.
You could be a millionaire.
Perpetual cat toy.
Yeah, you could be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Hey, split the profits with me, Brian.
And once again, the great advancement of man is used to interact with cats. Just
now,
following
by stopping
the
this
internet
thing, I could get it where it just sits there and fluxes. But as far as it being in motion, man, I don't know what's ever going to make it come to rest.
Drop that string, lift up the string, and drop it right over the top of that of the floor magnet. Just drop it right over the top of the floor.
It is, bro. It is.
Well, move it. I want to see it go over the top of the floor magnet.
All right. Okay, that's that.
No, not to the side, because you're talking about equators and shit like
Hold
north
on, man.
south.
You think that? Hold on, I'll put a dot on the ground. Let me let it drop, and I'll put a dot on the ground.
There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
put a mark on the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, Lexi, go get me a marker off the.
Please. Need a laser pointer attached.
Come
to the
on,
bottom.
Lexi.
And then draw out the pattern that it makes.
Drop it right to the ground. Draw a circle around the thing.
Just straight on top of that. Yeah, straight on top of the ground magnet. There.
All right, let me make a mark real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, draw a circle right around that.
Tape a marker to the magnet so that as it swings, it marks up the floor where it's going.
That'll give it resistance.
The string is dictating what the magnet wants to do.
Hold this. Is there any way to switch this camera but no, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say.
And make a few dots. You'll know where the magnets go. Yep. Nice work.
Cheers to Brian for having all these magnets. What the fuck?
Mad, isn't it? Crazy.
Awesome.
I couldn't find a marker in my house to save my life.
Oh, I find them all over. I got so many Sharpies. I find them all over the school floor all day.
Yeah, you're the one that steals it from me, right?
They're on the floor, man. They're garbage.
Doing shit. All these motherfuckers steal my Sharpies. Fuck.
That's your justification. It's on the floor.
Yo, anything on the floor is
You
garbage.
stole my Ferrari, dude. It was on the floor, man. All right, finders keepers. Okay.
Listen, I'm a janitor. I got to clean this shit up. I'm definitely not going to use it. I'm definitely not going to use Leahy's Bruno.
Directly on top of the floor magnet. Directly on top. Let's just see what happens. Just put your string, your vertical point, directly on top.
What do you mean, Aaron?
Well, I want.
It's not gonna let it go on top. It's gonna push it away.
Yeah, it won't let it go on top, Aaron.
Yeah, I know, but just go high enough, and drop it right down on top and see what happens. Go high enough so you're away from the
push
field.
it away.
Okay.
Hold on, my magnets aren't level either. Hold on.
Oh Jesus! Here we go. Get a water. You got a tub of water?
Yeah, Brian, can you get a saucer?
That's centered right there.
Brian, can you get a saucer? Okay, that ground magnet. Can you put that in water, just shallow water, and see what happens?
Raise the white one. Raise it up. Raise the white one up. But show us. And then raise it up. All right. Get it out of the fucking magnetic field of the bottom one, right? Now show us as you drop down to the black one on the floor.
All right.
I'm going to push it away.
Okay. Now, are you holding this or are you manipulating
string,
this?
look.
Yeah. Okay. So you could be manipulating this a little bit,
Well, I'll back up.
Looks like
it could be.
Drop it down right on top. Right, drop it down right on top. Okay. And don't move your arm.
Hold on, let me back up. That's okay.
As you're holding the camera.
Hold on, let me.
There's going to be the toroidal type movement there. There will be.
Is anyone else getting dizzy?
I feel dizzy.
Lower it down. Car sick, and I'm not even.
Right. I'm not moving it again, man. I just want to see. I'm gonna leave it just like it is. But I just dropped it straight on top. I'm gonna leave it for, and I don't think it'll stop myself. I think if I make it stop, then I could get it to just sit there and vibrate. Basically, you couldn't see it with the camera, but it was just sitting there. You could see a little bit of motion, but it was just sitting there vibrating.
It's a nice generator you got in the background. I like that.
That right there is I'm trying to get generators to run on the HHO gas, and I got it running for a second, but that's another experiment I'm putting back in line. But the thing I made to combine the two gas producers was clogged, and I didn't even know it the whole time. So I got to redo that whole thing.
You know what you can get for your house is a diesel generator, right? And then you get a diesel generator, and then you can get free fryer oil from places, pizza places, McDonald's. Because they got to pay.
Fucking
you could filter it. You could filter it, and then you could run a diesel. I mean, you could run a diesel car off it.
Sure.
That'd be
it smells like French fries when you drive down the street, but yeah.
Yeah, your neighbors will be coming over all the time. What you cooking, Brian? Brian, I don't party, but I want to party with you one day.
Rocky said he doesn't party, but he wants to party with you someday, Brian.
Mm-hmm. That's it's a very good experimental thing. Now, I'd love to see that black magnet on the ground in a bowl of water or a plate of water, just to see if there's any reaction with the water.
Let me add one more thing. The Brian's string that he's holding the top magnet with is not twisting, right? It's not twisting. It's either secured or he's holding it or whatever. Magnetic flux has a toroidal type of flux to it, right? It makes things spin. That's what it does. So when Brian's magnet that he's hanging there comes up against the resistance of the spin of the string he's holding, or is secured to a point or whatever it is, it's always his white magnet will unspin. That's right. That's what's giving us.
Oh yeah, we still made a good.
But I want to see the effect on water. If that black magnet on the ground is in water, does it have an effect on water?
Oh yeah, good point.
I want to see those magnets in a circle just wide enough.
Tides we're getting? Is that the tides? Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Put those magnets just far enough in a circle apart where the magnet on the string will go in between them and hit the next magnet, and then see how many times it goes out and comes in. I think it would stay in motion like that a lot better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, motions. Yeah, but the black magnet in water. Can we see any movement in the water?
Have you guys?
If there's enough salt, magnets will affect salt water.
Have you guys heard of that ring magnet experiment? Have you guys seen that? Ring magnets?
No, what is it?
It's an experiment.
I know ring magnets. I married my wife 30 years ago.
Yeah. But they're super cool though, right? So now we have the added effect of cooling magnets. So it's not quite what we live in, right? But super cool conductor magnets will hover above and below, and they will just follow a magnetic path. Wherever the north is, the south is, boom, boom, boom. You can shoot this magnet. Has nobody seen that?
But Aaron, does it have an effect on water? That's why I want to see.
Okay, I'm gonna step
like
out.
two magnets.
I'm gonna find
magnets can
I'm gonna find it
reject and
I'm gonna find it and shoot it in
attract.
general. Okay.
Does it have an effect on water? That's what I want to see.
I get
it.
it.
Brian Lincoln did a very good experiment. All he has to do now is put that magnet, the black magnet, the magnet's on the ground, put it in a bowl of water or a plate with a few centimeters of water, and is there effect on the water?
Hey guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much. I want to see a 62-inch diameter lead ball. That's what I want to see.
Hi, Bensaw.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bensaw. How's it going? You all right?
52,000 pounds. I know.
You know what I've always wanted to do with magnets is go magnet fishing. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, for gold.
No, I don't think they pull up gold. But it's not magnetic. They pull up like
they pull up iron. They pull up iron and gold's amongst it.
Oh,
heavy metals. Heavy metals.
I was just talking about with like a little like 50 or 100. I don't know how many pound magnets they use, but just little ones that tie a string to it and you throw it in a river. They pull up like guns and knives and stuff, all kinds of like weird shit. Fishing hooks.
Cool. Yeah.
Watches, phones.
Oh shit!
Monster's been spruiking that for ages.
Don't
back
touch
here.
it, boy. Back up.
He's 62-inch diameter lead ball.
Brian, put that ground magnet in water, please. In a big plate.
Brian, leave it sitting overnight. Come back in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna do. Get back, buddy. I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna do. It's gonna find that resting point and just sit there and vibrate and just barely turn.
Yeah, so it's gonna essentially stop moving. I mean, it's gonna stop moving. It might just vibrate or twist a little or something, but there's not gonna be any kind of.
Yeah.
I think it'll stop moving altogether if you given enough time. Well, I bet you if you come back in the morning, that thing's not even moving in a bit.
I'm getting to where I won't bet on it now, but I don't know.
Yeah, just check it in the morning and let us know if it was moving or not.
But if I leave it going just like that, just like it is now, like kind of in a
circle. I bet you it's not even twisting or what's up.
I bet if you set this thing up right, it wouldn't stop, man. Like if you had if I had enough weight trying to reach plumb, like if there was enough weight trying to get it to plumb, it seems like it couldn't stop because it would never stop trying to seek plumb. Magnet would never stop trying to repel it.
You're saying if you put a little weight underneath the magnet or something, like a lead ball or something, it would always be trying to find plumb, but then you'd have the magnet always trying to repel it.
What about this, Jeremy? I just put in experiments. Go to experiments. And that's my last post right there about magnets. Yeah.
Lexi, come get Nolan. Hold on, buddy. Got to back up. She can stay in the doorway.
Yeah. Everybody,
we're doing an experiment now, buddy.
If somebody could play it, that'd be great. That'd be fucking awesome.
It's trying to slow down and then it'll randomly speed back up, man. It's
I still say if you put that black magnet in water, it'll.
You want me to put the magnet that it's sitting on in a couple of water?
Salt. Yeah. Salt water is affected by magnet. Salt water is affected by magnetism, isn't it?
I'll do it. Hold on. All right. Hey, Lexi.
Get salt water.
Plate of salt water.
There you go.
Give me that plate on the table and fill it with water and walk it out here real gently and bring me some salt. Don't pour it in there. Just bring it to
me. Brian, you're the shit, bro. You're the shit. You're the fucking man, bro. I'm telling you. I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it stops, then I'm glad I didn't bet nothing. But if it doesn't stop, we can figure things out. Demonstrations are the only way, though, man. All the talk and thinking and sometimes even logic doesn't play, man. Demonstration is king.
Absolutely.
We're fucking live here. Watch what's going to happen there with salt water. Watch.
From what I've seen, magnetism.
Right there.
From what I've seen, magnetism will affect salt water. There's demonstrations of it on YouTube and stuff of salt water being. You can like put a little bit of salt water on something floaty on regular water, right? And you have a little container of salt water on it, and you can use a magnet to push.
Here we go.
To push the thing with the salt water. I got a real good idea of how to make perpetual motion. You got a railgun, a magnetic railgun, and you it'll I don't know how much force it takes to get it going inside the track, but it shoots it out with great force. Like you could get something uphill doing this, and if you could get it uphill, that's a wrap. As long as it doesn't take enough force to.
Hey, do y'all see this thing vibrating, dude?
There you go. That's our art. Watch. Look at that.
What you got? The salt water going?
Bro, no, there's no salt in it yet, but it's sitting in water and it's vibrating like crazy, dude.
It wasn't doing that before?
Put some salt in it now, Brian. Put some salt.
Yeah, get some salt going in that. They make these things called saltwater batteries. You ever seen those for like yachts and boats and stuff? Yeah, saltwater batteries. I bet you Rocky you got one.
I got 4 huge ones.
Watch what's going to happen.
You just fill it
there.
up with salt, right? You just fill it up with salt, right, Rocky? The ocean water?
Yep.
Just ocean water, yep.
Let me mix it up a little. Put a little more salt and mix it up.
What was vibrating, the water or the magnet?
The magnet, dude, from the string. I just bumped it actually, but hold on.
Brian, can you see if the water is the water moving at all? Is it being pulled somewhere?
Man, I can't see that the water's moving, but the magnet is. I got a stack of I don't know if you can see, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 7 magnets of various width sitting under it. It's just one. It's just a nasal spray bottle with a magnet taped to it, hanging from a 12-pound test. But so it's hard to tell if the water's moving. But I'll put something in it in a minute to see. But since I put the salt in it, it's not shaking like it was before I put the salt in the water. It was like trembling. It was weird. I'll leave it like this for a minute. And then I want to take the salt water out and put the water again, see if that's what was making it tremble. I mean, it was really, really trembling. It was strange. It was nervous.
But look at the motion. It's not the same motion now. Look at this.
I know. Go check out.
I'd say the water affected it. I'm not sure the salt water affected it.
Just go look at it, and that's what should happen. It's only like
Which way is north, Brian? Relative to that where that magnet is.
I'll face north. Let's see. Whoa, hold on. Okay, north is facing out my door. That's east. Out that way is east. So north would be that way. So I was filming. Let's say getting back to where I was. I'm facing west. This is facing west, right toward my door. Man, I tell you what, man, I'm gonna dump the salt water real quick.
Yeah.
And put regular water because it was doing something, man.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, if it was doing something crazy with the salt water, fuck it. Or with the regular water, fuck it. Go ahead. My bad. I thought salt water was Because I've seen it demonstrated on YouTube about salt water being magnetic, and we could see it visibly, pushing.
I mean, the water that he has in there might have some level of salt in it, therefore giving it a small effect. And the salination, like if you make it more salty, perhaps there'll be a larger effect. I don't know, but
Bob Dole, if you're interested, go check out experiments on the chat feeds there, and just click on it. It's only about 2 minutes. Okay, it's exactly about magnetism, like what Jeremy's talking about, Brian's talking about. Everyone just
I know they're saying the sea level on different sides of the continent of pick a continent, may be different because of the salinity of the water, and the electric field pulls on one more than the other. So the sea levels are different, not by much, but that's what they're giving it result from is the salinity. And we all know it's more buoyant,
That's what they say. They also say that on the one side of the Panama Canal, the Atlantic Ocean is higher than the Pacific. Is what they're saying.
You beat him out some money? There you go. By how much do they say, do you know?
That was the easiest money. 40 feet, somewhere in there, 40, 50 foot. Yep.
Oh, the cat.
That's a globe fact right there. Is where they say the Atlantic is higher than the Pacific.
Magnet. That magnet looks like something out of SpaceX, doesn't it? It looks so real. It must be fake.